Hello everyone! Every single day, millions of people unknowingly overload the most vital detox organ in their body, the liver. In the United States and Canada, liver-related diseases from fatty liver to hepatitis and even liver cancer are climbing at alarming rates. The shocking truth is this: your liver can be silently struggling for years before you notice any symptoms. By the time fatigue, yellowing eyes, or chronic indigestion appear, the damage is already significant. That's why experts call the liver a silent victim. It suffers in silence until it can't anymore. Think about your daily life. After a long day, have you ever sat down to enjoy a heavy dinner with a glass of wine or maybe some late-night snacks? Have you then woken up feeling sluggish, bloated, or with a bitter taste in your mouth? If this sounds familiar, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 2. And don't forget to follow this channel. We'll explore together how simple daily habits and natural remedies can protect your liver, extend your health, and give you back the energy you thought you had lost. Why is this so important for those of us over 40? Because the liver's efficiency naturally declines with age, and lifestyle choices only speed up the process. Medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes commonly used by seniors are all processed by the liver. Add alcohol, processed foods, stress, and poor sleep into the mix, and you've got a recipe for liver overload. Ignoring this reality can mean heading towards serious illness. But the good news is that you don't have to accept decline as inevitable. With the right knowledge and a few practical changes, you can protect your liver and, by extension, your entire body. So let's dive in. To understand how to heal and protect the liver, we first need to recognize its role in modern life and how overwork shows up in subtle but dangerous ways. The liver is often described as the body's chemical factory, and for good reason. Every piece of food you eat, every sip of alcohol, and every pill you swallow passes through the liver for processing. In North America, where diets are high in refined sugars, fats, and processed foods, this organ is under constant assault. Over time, it can no longer keep up, leading to fatty liver disease, inflammation, and eventually scarring, known as cirrhosis. For adults over 40, this problem is magnified. Prescription medications for common age-related conditions like high cholesterol or hypertension put additional strain on the liver. The result: many people feel tired all the time, struggle with weight around the midsection, or notice brain fog, all early warning signs that the liver is overworked. The frightening part is that these symptoms are often dismissed as normal aging, but they're not. They are your body's way of waving a red flag. Understanding the liver's role in modern health is the first step toward reversing damage and building resilience. And in the next section, we'll see how traditional medicine views the liver not just as a detox organ, but as the commander of energy and emotions. If modern medicine calls the liver a chemical factory, then traditional medicine, especially Chinese medicine, gives it an even more commanding title: the general of the human body. This is not just poetic language. For centuries, healers have observed that when the liver is in balance, energy flows freely, emotions remain stable, and digestion works smoothly. But when the traditional medicine views the liver as the organ responsible for regulating qi, the body's vital energy, and take emotions, for example. Have you ever noticed that when you're stressed, angry, or holding in frustration, your body feels heavier and your digestion slows down? According to traditional medicine, this is a sign of liver qi stagnation. When energy can't flow through the liver properly, it builds up like pressure behind a dam. The result: irritability, mood swings, and sometimes even depression. Many people in North America brush these off as mental health struggles or normal stress, but they can also be rooted in liver imbalance. Another important observation is the connection between the liver and the eyes. Traditional texts describe the liver as opening into the eyes. This means when the liver is strong, vision is clear, but when the liver is weak or overheated, the eyes suffer. That's why people with liver issues often complain of dry eyes, red eyes, or blurred vision. If you've ever finished a long, stressful day and noticed your eyes look bloodshot in the mirror, that could be your liver signaling distress. Now let's bring this closer to home. For many adults over 40-inch, the US and Canada, daily life includes high stress, late nights, and heavy meals. These are exactly the conditions that traditional medicine warns will block liver qi and create heat in the system. Over time, this doesn't just harm your liver, it shows up in your skin with breakouts, in your sleep with restless nights, and in your energy with constant fatigue. Here's a question for you. Have you ever had periods where you felt more irritable, had digestive problems, and noticed your eyes or skin reacting at the same time? If so, type yes in the comments. If not, type no. And make sure you're following this channel because we're uncovering how ancient wisdom and modern science can work together to protect your liver and overall health. One of the unique strengths of traditional medicine is that it doesn't just treat symptoms, it identifies patterns. Practitioners often describe three common patterns of liver imbalance: stagnation, excessive heat, and dampness. Stagnation shows up as tension and mood swings. Excessive heat appears as red eyes, irritability, and inflammation. Dampness reveals itself in bloating, a heavy body, or a sticky feeling in the mouth. Recognizing these patterns early allows for simple interventions through diet, herbs, and lifestyle changes before they become major health problems. This perspective gives us a powerful tool, the ability to interpret everyday signals as messages from the liver. Instead of waiting for lab results or advanced disease, traditional medicine teaches us to listen to the body's whispers before they become screams. Combined with modern insights about toxins, fatty liver, and inflammation, this holistic view provides a roadmap for prevention and healing. So while modern medicine emphasizes lab tests and chemical markers, traditional wisdom urges us to pay attention to emotions, energy, and the subtle connections between the liver, eyes, and digestion. Together, these two perspectives give us a more complete understanding of how to care for this silent but vital organ. And now that we've explored how traditional medicine frames the liver as a general that commands both body and mind, it's time to dive deeper into the three major problems that most commonly affect the liver in everyday life, and why. Recognizing them could be the key to protecting your health after 40. Now that we understand how traditional medicine describes the liver as a general directing energy, emotions, and circulation, it becomes clearer why liver imbalance creates such widespread issues. Both modern and traditional perspectives agree when the liver falters, the rest of the body pays the price. To make this practical, let's explore the three most common liver problems adults, especially those over 40-inch, the US and Canada face today: stagnation, excessive heat, and dampness. 1. Liver qi stagnation, the pressure cooker. Imagine a city where traffic is backed up on every major road. Cars, idle pollution builds, and everyone stuck in their vehicle grows frustrated. That's exactly what happens inside your body when liver qi becomes stagnant. The energy that should flow smoothly is blocked, creating both physical and emotional congestion. Common signs include frequent sighing, a feeling of tightness in the chest or abdomen, bloating after meals, and irritability. In modern terms, this can look like chronic stress, indigestion, or even mild depression. Have you ever had days where every little thing annoyed you and your stomach felt like a balloon after eating? That's classic stagnation. If this pattern continues, it can escalate into hypertension or even gallbladder issues. 2. Liver heat, the fire within. When stagnation lasts too long, it often transforms into heat. Think of a pot boiling on the stove with no release valve. The pressure builds until it explodes. In the body, this liver heat manifests as headaches, red or dry eyes, a bitter taste in the mouth ulcers, or acne flare-ups. Emotionally, it can feel like sudden bursts of anger, impatience, or restlessness. For many adults over 40, this problem is easy to overlook. A stressful day at work, a heavy dinner with alcohol, or too much coffee can all trigger liver heat. You might chalk it up to just being tired or just getting older, but in reality, your body is waving a red flag. If ignored, liver heat increases inflammation throughout the body, raising risks for heart disease, high blood pressure, and even stroke. 3. Liver dampness, the heavy fog. If stagnation is traffic and heat is fire, then dampness is like a swamp spreading across your system. In traditional medicine, dampness occurs when the body can't metabolize fluids properly, leading to heaviness, sluggishness, and a sticky, uncomfortable feeling. Signs of dampness include constant fatigue, swelling in the legs or feet, a greasy tongue, coating foul-smelling stools, and brain fog. Many North Americans recognize these symptoms as metabolic syndrome or prediabetes. In fact, fatty liver disease, often called the silent epidemic in the US and Canada, closely mirrors the concept of dampness. It develops quietly, often without pain, until it becomes a serious condition. Why these three patterns matter: while stagnation, heat, and dampness sound different, they often overlap. For example, someone might begin with stagnation caused by stress, develop liver heat from chronic frustration, and then end up with dampness due to poor diet and inactivity. Left unchecked, these patterns create a vicious cycle, gradually damaging the liver's ability to detoxify and regulate the body. Here's where it becomes urgent for adults. Over 40, these patterns often appear before blood tests reveal abnormalities. You might feel irritable, have dry eyes, or notice swelling in your legs long before a doctor mentions elevated liver enzymes. Recognizing these early signals gives you the chance to intervene naturally through food, herbs, and lifestyle changes before the damage becomes irreversible. Let me ask you, do you ever notice bloating, irritability, or constant fatigue creeping into your daily life? If yes, drop a yes in the comments. If not, type no. And don't forget to follow this channel. Together we'll decode these hidden signals and turn them into opportunities for healing. By paying attention to these three common problems, stagnation, heat, and dampness, you can begin to see your liver not just as an organ, but as a messenger. Each symptom is like a note from your body urging you to take action. And the good news is, action doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, some of the most powerful remedies can be found in simple everyday food. That brings us to the next part of our journey, exploring a traditional recipe made of three humble ingredients: chrysanthemum, mung, beans, and kwa seed that together form what many call the king of liver detox. After understanding the three common problems, stagnation, heat, and dampness, you may be wondering, what practical steps can I take right now to support my liver? The answer doesn't lie in expensive supplements or complicated treatments. Instead, traditional wisdom offers us a simple, time-tested solution, a detox recipe made from three humble ingredients you can easily find in most grocery stores or Asian markets. These are chrysanthemum flowers, mung beans, and kwak seed, also known as Job's tears or Chinese pearl barley. Together they form a gentle yet powerful formula often called the king of liver detox. 1. Chrysanthemum flowers. Cooling and soothing chrysanthemum tea has been used for centuries in Chinese households, not only as a refreshing drink, but also as a medicine. In traditional medicine, chrysanthemum is prized for its ability to clear heat and brighten the eyes. Remember how we said the liver opens into the eyes? This is where chrysanthemum shines. If you often feel your eyes are red, dry, or strained, especially after long hours on the computer, this flower can provide relief. From a modern perspective, chrysanthemum is rich in flavonoids and antioxidants that reduce inflammation. Studies have shown it can help lower blood pressure and calm the nervous system. Think of it as a natural cooling agent for both your body and mind, counteracting the fiery effects of liver heat. 2. Mung beans, the gentle detoxifier. Mung beans are small green legumes that may look unassuming but are nutritional powerhouses. In traditional medicine, mung beans are famous for clearing toxins and cooling the blood. They are often recommended during hot summers to prevent heat stroke and inflammation. From a scientific standpoint, mung beans are loaded with polyphenols that have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. They also contain protein and fiber, which support digestion and blood sugar control. For the liver, this means less strain processing, excess sugar and fat, and more resources dedicated to repair. If you've ever felt heavy or sluggish after a rich meal, mung beans act like a gentle brush, sweeping away the toxic residue. 3. Koik seed Job's tears, draining dampness. The third ingredient, koik seed, may be less familiar to Western audiences, but it is a staple in East Asian cooking and medicine. Its primary role in this recipe is to drain dampness. Remember the swamp analogy we used for liver dampness? Kwak seed helps dry out that swamp, reducing bloating, water retention, and the sticky feeling in the mouth. Nutritionally, kwa seed is high in amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. Research suggests it has anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and even lipid-lowering properties. More importantly, it helps the liver by lightening the body's load of excess fluids and metabolic waste. For adults over 40 who may struggle with swelling in the legs, puffiness, or metabolic issues, kwai seed offers a natural way to restore balance. How to make the recipe. The preparation is straightforward and doesn't require special skills. 1. Rinse a small handful each of chrysanthemum flowers, mung beans, and kwa seed. 2. Add them to a pot with about 6 cups of water. 3. Bring to a boil, then reduce the heat and simmer for 20-30 minutes. 4. Strain and drink the liquid as a warm tea, or keep the beans and seeds in to make a light soup. The taste is mild, slightly nutty from the kwai seed and floral from the chrysanthemum. It's refreshing enough to drink in the summer, but comforting in cooler months as well. Why this combination works individually, each ingredient has unique benefits, but together they create a synergistic effect. Asterisk chrysanthemum clears heat. Mung beans detoxify. Kwa seed drain dampness. This trifecta addresses the very issues, stagnation, heat, and dampness that plague the liver most. It's like having a team where each member specializes in fixing a particular problem, but together they cover all the bases. Who should try this remedy? This recipe is especially suitable for adults over 40 who experience fatigue, eye strain, bloating, or frequent irritability. However, those with very cold constitutions, always feeling chilly, weak digestion, should use it in moderation. Always consult with your healthcare provider if you have existing medical conditions. A daily ritual, not a quick fix. It's important to remember drinking this tea once won't magically heal your liver overnight. The liver thrives on consistency. Making this tea a part of your weekly or even daily routine is what brings real benefits. Think of it as giving your liver a spa treatment. One session feels good, but regular visits are what create lasting transformation. By incorporating chrysanthemum mung beans and quack seed into your life, you're not just following an old tradition, you're tapping into a wisdom that bridges modern science and ancient knowledge. And while this recipe is powerful, it's only one part of a bigger picture. To truly protect your liver, you also need to pair it with supportive lifestyle habits. That's exactly what we'll explore next. The everyday changes like sleep, diet, and stress management that can amplify the benefits of this detox recipe and keep your liver thriving for years to come. While the chrysanthemum, mung bean, and koi seed recipe offers a powerful way to support liver detox, true healing doesn't come from a single drink or supplement. To protect your liver long term, you need to align your daily lifestyle with habits that reduce strain and encourage regeneration. Think of the detox recipe as your toolkit and lifestyle as the foundation. Without both, the structure won't hold. 1. Prioritize sleep for liver regeneration. In both modern science and traditional medicine, nighttime is when the liver works hardest. Between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., your liver is busy filtering toxins, processing hormones, and repairing tissues. If you're awake during these hours, watching television, scrolling on your phone, or working late, you're stealing the very time your liver needs to heal. For adults over 40, poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it accelerates liver damage. Setting a consistent bedtime, ideally before 11 p.m., allows your body to sync with this natural rhythm. 2. Eat light and balanced. What you eat directly determines how hard your liver has to work. Heavy, greasy meals or excessive alcohol overload its detox pathways. On the other hand, light, balanced meals, rich in vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins ease the burden. Incorporating bitter greens like dandelion or kale can further support bile flow, aiding digestion. Moderation is key. Enjoying the occasional indulgence won't ruin your health, but daily overconsumption will. 3. Limit alcohol and processed foods. This may sound obvious, but it bears repeating. Alcohol is one of the liver's greatest enemies. Even moderate drinking over decades leaves scars that may not show up until it's too late. Similarly, processed foods loaded with preservatives, sugar, and trans fats force the liver into constant overdrive. Reducing these inputs gives the organ space to recover. If you enjoy wine or beer, set boundaries such as limiting alcohol to weekends and practicing alcohol-free weeks. 4. Manage stress to protect liver qi. Remember how we discussed liver qi stagnation earlier? Emotional stress is one of the leading causes. Chronic anger, frustration, or anxiety constrict energy flow, showing up as both physical and emotional symptoms. Simple practices like deep breathing, meditation, or gentle exercise can release tension. In North America, where stress is part of daily culture, deliberately carving out time for relaxation is just as important as any medicine. 5. Gentle movement over intense strain. The liver thrives when circulation is smooth. Gentle activities like walking, tai chi, or yoga encourage blood and qi flow without overloading the system. For adults over 40, this is especially critical. Pushing through extreme workouts can sometimes create more inflammation, whereas steady, mindful movement brings lasting balance. By combining these lifestyle habits with the detox recipe, you're giving your liver both immediate relief and long-term protection. It's like tending to a garden. The tea is the water that refreshes, but the lifestyle is the soil that sustains growth. Together, they ensure your liver continues to serve you faithfully well into the later years of life. While the chrysanthemum, mung bean, and koi seed detox recipe is gentle and natural, it's important to recognize that not every remedy is right for everyone. Just as one diet doesn't fit all, this formula has its ideal audience and some people who should use it with caution. Who should try it? Adults over 40 who often feel fatigued, notice red or dry eyes, experience bloating, or struggle with irritability can benefit most from this recipe. These are classic signs of liver qi, stagnation, heat, or dampness, the very issues this blend targets. People who frequently eat rich or oily foods, drink alcohol, or live under chronic stress may also find relief by incorporating this tea several times a week. For those dealing with mild fatty liver or early-stage metabolic issues, the cooling and detoxifying effect can provide support alongside healthy lifestyle changes. Who should use caution? On the other hand, individuals with a naturally cold constitution, those who often feel chilled, have weak digestion, or suffer from loose stools, may find this recipe too cooling. In traditional medicine terms, it could further weaken their digestive fire. Similarly, those with very low blood pressure should use caution, as chrysanthemum and mung beans can lower blood pressure further. Pregnant women and people taking specific medications should always consult with their healthcare provider before trying any detox formula. How to adapt safely. For people who are sensitive, the recipe can be adjusted. Reducing the amount of chrysanthemum, serving the tea warm instead of cold, and drinking it less frequently, once or twice a week instead of daily, can make it gentler. Pairing the tea with warming foods like ginger or cinnamon can also balance the cooling effects. The key is to listen to your body. If you feel lighter, more energized, and clearer in your mind after drinking it, that's a good sign it's working for you. If you feel too cold, sluggish, or uncomfortable, it's your body telling you to adjust. By recognizing who this recipe best serves and where caution is needed, you ensure that liver care remains both effective and safe. And with this understanding, we can now bring everything together in a final conclusion: why protecting your liver matters more than ever after 40, and how small daily steps can make a lifetime of difference. We've now walked through every step understanding the liver's crucial role, identifying the 3 most common problems it faces, learning the power of chrysanthemum, mung, beans, and coeg seed, and seeing how lifestyle habits and careful use of this recipe can make a difference. What becomes clear is this: protecting the liver is not optional. It is essential for anyone who wants to age with energy, clarity, and resilience. For adults over 40 the US and Canada, the stakes are even higher. This is the age when medication stress and years of dietary habits begin to catch up. Ignoring your liver's signals, fatigue, irritability, bloating, or eye strain only pushes you closer to chronic disease. But listening to those signals and responding with simple, natural steps can completely change the trajectory of your health. Here's the hopeful truth: healing the liver doesn't require exotic supplements or expensive treatments. Sometimes it's as simple as making a pot of tea with 3 humble ingredients, going to bed before midnight, and cutting back on alcohol. Small, consistent actions practiced daily build up into powerful protection. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried a liver detox tea or natural remedy before? If yes, share your experience in the comments. If not, type new and let's explore together. And don't forget to follow this channel. We're building a community that values natural wisdom, modern science, and practical steps for long-term health. Your liver has been working tirelessly for you since the day you were born. Isn't it time to return the favor? Start tonight with 1 cup of this simple tea. Pair it with the habits we discussed and notice how your energy, mood, and clarity begin to shift. Protecting your liver is not just about living longer, it's about living better.